All right, so we are back in the best running game ever released on Steam. Just kidding. This game is running pretty, you know, okay here. We are on a 5080, so I just couldn't get it out of my head when I did the previous video with the 5060 Ti, just how bad the performance was. So I have put a you know. Much more beefier GPU in this thing, and we are on low settings, and we're just not going to use DLAA or DLSS because it ran terribly compared to the Unreal version. So we're just going to do a quick test here with the 5080 just to kind of see if what this game needs to run smoothly. I mean, a 5080 ought to do it. We are at 4K because that's more the intended resolution of the 5080. So we're just going to see if this is a more, realistic way to run this title. So if you're new here, please subscribe. If not, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it a lot. I hope my green screen work has improved. I've done a lot of technical figuring to get it to look good. So this is the first video you get to see where it's actually like halfway decent looking without like a green fringe. But anyway, we're on the Unreal Engine anti-aliasing, thing, and our frame generation is off, and our resolution scaling is set to 100, so no upscaling. We are on the low preset. So let's just go through and I'll comment on some numbers here. So this gives us a pretty darn smooth experience. We are at 48 FPS. It runs really well, though. I mean, I'm really impressed with how nice this is running compared to the 5060 Ti. Obviously, they're miles apart, but this is at 4K, and that test was at 1080p. So, really, really nice looking too. I mean, it doesn't have any of that, terrible looking pixelation that we had on the 5060 Ti at 1080p. So, maybe it's just a resolution thing. Maybe it's something that this upscaler is, really good at is, processing native at 4K versus 1080p. Who knows? Because this game is a mystery to me. Like the question of why we are spilling 2.3 gigs of VRAM into our system RAM when we clearly have a 16 gigabyte card. So I don't know. There's our floating rocks. Oh, they're back. Great. Oh yeah, this is so well optimized, man. It's beautiful. All right, so I don't want to rag on it too hard. Technically, it's still in beta, so let's just keep running and go to medium, high, all that kind of thing, and run through it that way. So we're still at 4K. Good deal. All right, so we are going to go to medium and save that. And I want to call out something on video. It won't keep the max frame rate checked. It just keeps saying 60. It's not doing that though. If I were to do this, then it would cap it, but I'm not. So, if you see this switch back to 60, don't be concerned. All right, so medium settings here, down to 32, 30, 29. Yeah, here's where we're starting to fall apart. Got some pop in, like lots of pop in. It's just like everywhere. Everywhere I run, I just see it popping in constantly. All right, so might have something to do with the preset. We could look at some of the individual settings to see if that might be something we can address. That's usually not what I get into on this channel, just because I don't like to make, 3-hour long videos. I can't talk that long, but we might have to check it out on this particular title because we're just having a lot of weird issues with pop in. We're going to keep going up though. Maybe it will mitigate itself as we just go through these settings here and apply some tougher to run settings. This is just hilarious to me that a 5080 is running this at 24 FPS though. Wow, yeah. Optimization is just not a thing anymore, I guess, for some studios. But hopefully they will get it right, and we'll actually have a nice game because this game actually looks like it'd be a lot of fun. And if it weren't for, you guys, all the subscribers and the comments saying like to check this out, I would have probably never played it. So thanks for putting me on to it. I know it's rough to get through, but hopefully it'll be a nice fun game one day. At least that's what I picture. I'm being optimistic. All right, so go into settings here, and we're just going to drop over into the Epic settings. We're going to save that. So this says a 4070 and up. We're on a 5080. So according to this note that they left, we should be okay. We are at 23 FPS. I will say that the game does feel a lot smoother than it has on the lesser performing cards, like the 5060 Ti. Granted, that was at 1080p though. I mean, that should be no big deal for that card. But again, a lot of these things, they're not the card's fault. It's just the game is so poorly optimized. Like I just can't get over the VRAM spill at 2.5 megabytes up there, that third one down, indicated with VRAM S. There should be no reason at all to be spilling that kind of VRAM over into system RAM when you have a 16 gig card on a bus width like this. So anyway, let's just go through. We're going to do some upscaling. So we'll start with like what is considered like a really high quality ratio here. We'll go to 76, and then we'll just keep working it down and see where that kind of happy medium would be. So that gave us up to 30. So I mean, right here, 30 FPS, a lot of consoles target 30 FPS. So I would consider this playable. 30 FPS is not ideal on a card of this nature, but for the most part, you're working with a game that is just really poorly optimized. So you kind of have to just take it in stride, I guess. So right here, let's just go to what would be considered just like the NVIDIA equivalent of quality, which would be 67. So there we go, 67. This will upscale from 1440. So we're upscaling from essentially a base resolution of 1440, and we're at 34, 37 FPS here. No frame generation is being used right now, so that might help us out. I will say though, when you're in the shadows, something weird's going on with like when you're in the shadows, it has that like I call it like a sandy texture. It's almost like a unintentional film grain look to it. It's not as bad as it was on the 5060 Ti for sure, probably because I'm gonna put an asterisk next to this, probably because we're at 4K and that one was at 1080p, and 1080p is just gonna look less, sharp. That's just the way it is. So that might be something to do with it, but it's definitely still present. All right, so although not as bad. So let's just go into here, go to settings, and I just want to see what a performance upscale would give us, if I can find the right thing. All right, so here we go. So we're at 50. That'll give us a performance upscale, which is 1080p upscaled to 4K. And the water's got a little flicker to it. Now, granted, this is not DLSS. I wish DLSS worked better. I don't know what this is. I haven't seen that before. All right. So, all right. Let me turn this volume down because I was not intended on anyone to speak. All right. So, yeah, there's 40 FPS here. And this is a performance setting. But what I was saying before I was distracted by the random note that popped up, I wish that DLSS did work better on this, because I feel like you would get a much crisper upscale with DLSS versus the Unreal upscaler. But the Unreal upscaler is just what's working right now. I might click over to DLSS and just see if it's any different on the 5080. We'll check that out toward the end of the video. And, I've got chapter markers up top and down below. If you want to skip around, that's fine. It won't hurt my feelings at all. That's why I put them there. All right. So let's just go through it. All right. Let's complete this section and say we're going to turn on some frame generation. And it's just frame generation. There's no 2x, 3x, nothing like that. And and the overrides don't even work. So it's just frame gen. I guess it's 2x. That would be my assumption, because we're at 75 FPS. And yeah, it's definitely a lot smoother now. You have a lot more, um, you know, frames in there, even though they're fake frames. But see, here's that. He just did it. All right. So as I move, kind of, if you can see it on his back, it's just like this really poorly dithered. It almost looks like a low dithered GIF file that just has like not enough colors in it to make it look smooth. So that's just kind of what it looks like to me. But you know, who knows with this game? Who knows? All right, so right now we're at 70 FPS, performance DLSS, I mean, not DLSS, performance Unreal upscaler with frame generation, and we are mustering out 70 FPS. So let's go over and just to see if it's working. I just want to see if we have any sort of luck here. We're going to have to restart, which is fine. I'm going to just click it over to DLAA, and we're just going to go to 100. Although DLAA or DLAA is 100, so I don't know why it's okay. Let's just go quality because it's not going to run right with DLAA. Okay, so I'm going to restart. Yes, this whole game is unstable. All right, so I'm going to restart, come right back, and then we'll finish up the NVIDIA DLSS portion of this title. All right, so let's just jump back into it and check out our settings, make sure that they applied. All right, so we're DLSS quality and currently on epic settings. Now I just want to make sure that we don't have any frame generation turned on. Frame generation is on. Let's turn that off. All right, so DLSS quality, we have restarted. We're not capping our frames. We're on epic settings. Let's just start over and go back down to low, get a good comparison. All right, so, okay, are we frozen up here? Come on, there we go. All right, geez, this game is a mess. All right, so on low with DLSS quality, we're at 65 FPS. This again is low settings though. And on the 5060 Ti, we had a lot of frame time stutters. I mean, like a lot. This is already better, but you can kind of see them in there. They're popping up here and there. But on the 5060 Ti, man, it was like borderline unplayable, especially over here. I'm going to run over and grab these, just kind of run over this little beach area. This is where it was really bad at. So I just want to see how it would perform over there. But yeah, we're at 52 FPS quality DLSS at 4K, but I mean, geez, not even 60 at low settings. So I'm not super hopeful that this is going to be any better, but we'll see. All right, so come over here. Yep, there's our magical floating rocks. Let's go see over here. Okay, now I'm too hot. Let me go get in the shade. I just got out of the water. Jeez, this game. All right, so over here was pretty rough, especially like underneath some of these trees. I think I ran up under this tree at one point. It was like really stuttery, but I'm not noticing that that is the case on the 5080. It seems to be handling things quite a bit better on DLSS. So let's just go to the next level of DLSS and see if that gives us a nice uplift. Because I would like to get to 60 before we start like cranking up things. Let's go to balanced, check this out, because, you know, okay, so 70. We were on epic settings on the Unreal, you know, upscaling technology, and it was running pretty bad until we got down to like a performance setting. So what I'm noticing though is like these upscaling methods just don't make a lot of difference. I mean, it's almost like the game is just outright ignoring it. But you know, maybe that's something they're working on, because if I go down to you know, performance DLSS at low settings should be an absolute cakewalk for this GPU. I mean, like, why is it at 70 FPS? Like, I'm upscaling from 1080p on low settings. Like, golly, this game is just such a wreck. 1.1 gigs of spilled VRAM for no reason. We've got 16 on here. Like, that just, come on, man, they need to work on this thing. But you know, if you just want to throw a bunch of hardware at it, you can get it to work clearly. On a 5080, it's running a lot better. Still not wonderful. All right, so just want to go over to graphics. What were we on? We were on epic settings with the Unreal upscaler, and we were on performance. I just want to see what that does. 45. So not a lot of. I mean, the upscalers tend to give you very similar FPS, like within one or two, points of each other. However, DLSS is still a little bit more, hitchy and glitchy, and it doesn't really run as smooth as the Unreal upscaler. So really, out of all of them, the Unreal one seems to be the best. I'm going to check out FSR after this too, just to really. This has become like an upscaler test more than anything. All right, so epic settings, performance. Let's go frame generation. Let's turn that on. All right, at least they let you do it independently. All right, so that gives us 70 FPS. I mean, that's right where we were with the Unreal version of upscaling. Actually, we were doing a little better with that one. We're at 60. So they just have not put the effort into DLSS at all, which is a shame. It, on an NVIDIA card, it really is like one of the best upscaling methods. But anyway, just to keep this short, I'm just going to come over here and go to FSR, and we're going to restart it again so that it doesn't freak out on us. But we accept the restart, and we're going to start it on performance, and we're not going to frame generate right now. So I'm going to apply these settings, head back over, and get the rest of this test figured out. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, so now we're on FSR. We are upscaling. Ooh, it's rough looking. All right, so we're upscaling on epic settings to performance FSR. Now we'll say that it's not as clear as DLSS and the Unreal version was. So out of all three, the Unreal one is still the one to use. It's far smoother and looks better than FSR does for sure. FSR has a lot of that dithering on his back. There's just like speckles and roughness all over the place. So just to complete it, we're just gonna come over here and what the heck, go with a frame generation. I gotta restart again. Okay, gonna restart and I'll come right back. All right, so we're back. We're on performance FSR with FSR frame generation, and we are right at 55, 65 FPS. Now, something to also keep in mind, our VRAM spill is way more normal at 517 megabytes. So all three of these upscaling methods have something wrong with them. DLSS and Unreal use way more VRAM than they have any right to. DLSS has a lot of hangs and stutters, and looks like FSR just runs a little better as far as like the VRAM usage, but it has significant visual issues. Like it's just not near as sharp as the other ones were at performance. I'm just gonna just to see, because I've been so curious about this game and what the heck to do to make it run better. I don't think there is anything, but I'm just going to see what quality looks like, just to rule out any sort of. Okay, yeah, so that does make it look a lot better. So it seems like it's just a performance thing. It's not as sharp as Unreal, but of the three, I would still use the Unreal upscaler. It seems to be the most advanced, as far as like advanced as in how much effort they've put into making it at least run right, because FSR doesn't look quite as good. DLSS still has a lot of the hangs and glitches, and Unreal, while it does just have a weird VRAM issue, it does look the best and run the smoothest. So yeah, I'm just gonna wrap this up, and this was just kind of like a video that I wanted to make to just see what the heck was going on with this game, and see if a 5080 could help the situation, and it definitely does. But it's still for 5080, this should be well into the 100 FPS range at least, with plenty of VRAM to spare, and it's just not. This is just a poorly optimized game, although it does look like it would be a lot of fun. But if you like this kind of content, just drop me a like. Subscriptions are vital to my success on YouTube. So if you want me to be successful, a subscription would be very, very beneficial. And I would thank you so much for that. And yeah, until next time, let's keep playing some games and keep testing out some stuff. So we'll see ya. Peace.